For the past 2 years, there's been relentless criticism of everyone involved in this conflict. Netanyahu, Trump, Biden, the military, the mediators. Some of that criticism has been fair. Some of it has been ideological theatre. But all of it has been easy, because decisions are easy to attack and hard to make. Harder still to live with. That's the nature of leadership, especially in war. So if we're willing to blame Netanyahu for his failures, we should also be willing to credit him for his successes. And if this deal holds, and if the hostages come home, many alive, then this will be a success. Imperfect, delayed, and morally costly, but a success nonetheless. For nearly a year, Jewish communities around the world have prayed in synagogues, homes, public squares, even the UN Assembly Chamber, where prayers were not always welcome. We've prayed for the hostages by name, for their safety, for their redemption. There is something biblical in the sheer scale of all this, and now, if the reports are accurate, we may see those prayers answered. Not all of them, tragically, but some. 20 hostages are expected to be released in the first phase by Sunday night. The rest, no longer alive if Hamas abides by the terms, will follow. In return, Israel will release hundreds of prisoners, some of them men convicted of unimaginable crimes, senior figures, mass murderers, heroes on the streets of Gaza. For every living hostage, the number is around 100 terrorists. It's a staggering figure, and the cost of this deal is not just moral, it may be fatal, because many of those walking out of prison now are already planning the next attack. And yet, we rejoice, quietly, cautiously, because every life saved is worth saving. Every person who comes home is a universe restored. We can be grateful and still wary. We must be. Meanwhile, in Gaza, the celebrations have begun. Videos show men, well-fed, healthy, on the streets, chanting, Kaiba, Kaiba, Ya Yahud, an Islamic battle cry against the Jews. They're not celebrations of peace. They're celebrations of power preserved. And at the same time, Hamas media has published new footage of their fighters training to abduct Israeli soldiers, not in the past, now. And this deal was just being finalized. That's who we're dealing with. And then there's the picture, already going viral, from Sharm el-Sheikh, where the negotiations were taking place. Hamas and Israeli officials seated across from one another in the same room. Israeli General Nitzan Alon shaking hands with Qatar's Prime Minister. A few weeks ago, Israel was striking Hamas targets in Doha. Now it's handshakes. But don't be fooled. That's not peace, it's leverage. And it proves something important, that Qatar could have done this much earlier, that international pressure works when it's applied with seriousness. Sometimes that pressure is diplomatic, sometimes it's commercial, sometimes it's military. This time, it was all three. From the start, Qatar and Iran have played a double game, funding, sheltering, and enabling Hamas while posturing as brokers of peace. That farce has to end. The West can't afford to walk away now, dust off its hands, and pretend the crisis is over. It isn't. The war against Islamic terrorism, against Jew hatred, against the ideological assault on the West, and everything it stands for, that war is still raging. Israel remains on the front line, and the rest of us, whether we like it or not, are standing just behind it or even alongside it. At least Israel knows the war it's fighting. We need to stop performing outrage when it's easy and start standing firm when it's hard. That means moral clarity. That means strategic strength. That means refusing to indulge the fantasy that Hamas can be moderated or that the fanatics will stop if we just make them the right offer. They won't. They don't want what we want, and they're proud to say so. In the coming days, we'll see hostages come home, some to joy, some to funerals. Some will never speak of what they endured. They will never fully recover. And nor should we, because what happened on October the 7th and what happened in the weeks and months that followed can't be absorbed and forgotten. These hostages are not headlines, they're lives. Each one a story, a world, a family's centre of gravity. Some will return, some probably won't, but none of them should be abandoned, not by us, not by our governments, and not by our conscience. This deal may bring a pause, a breath. That alone is valuable. But let's not confuse a pause with a solution. There are no endings here, only the challenge of carrying both hope and realism in the same breath. And that, for now, is what we have to do.